Over Memorial Day weekend, I caught my 27M girlfriend, 28F, cheating on me. I have a lot on my mind, so this is going to be a long one. Apologies in advance. I want to talk about the night it all went down, the days since, and life going forward. Context. I have been with my, likely soon-to-be ex-girlfriend for nearly 8 years. We met in college at a party and never looked back. Our relationship was never the most exciting or passionate, but we loved each other. I will be the first to admit I was not a perfect partner. I struggled with alcohol and we both smoked a fair bit of marijuana through college and our early 20s. I also struggled greatly with depression and anxiety. Despite these issues, I always held down a job and paid the bills. We also rarely fought. I have made great strides in my life to put these issues behind me. I am completely sober and have worked very hard to become the best future husband and father I can be for our family. Over the years we built a life together. We both graduated college, moved to the big city, and began our careers. We have 2 dogs, luckily no kids, and live in a nice house in a nice suburb that we split rent on. Our lives are integrated. She is a part of my family and I am a part of hers. We have lived together for years and have shared expenses. We are not engaged yet, but I have had a ring for several months now. I had not proposed because I felt there were cracks in our relationship that I wanted to work on before taking that next step. I had tried to have conversations about these issues but was never met with any meaningful dialogue or action. D-Day. I think the story of my D-Day actually started a couple weeks before it actually happened. One day before work, I had asked my GF, I'll call her J, if she could please clean her dishes in the sink and clean up her pile of laundry in the bathroom. No demands or anything, just please, I'd appreciate it. Jay blew up at me. Do you know how long you were a mess and I put up with it? I was hurt, but at this point I needed to leave for work, so I said we need to talk later and headed out the door. I gathered my thoughts during the day and came home a little early from work. We sat down and I laid out the following points. 1. Please stop using the past against me. I know I wasn't perfect, but I've worked very hard to become a better person. I cannot be in a relationship where my partner will hold my darkest days over my head to win an argument. 2. Jay works the night shift and I have struggled with this in the past. We don't see each other very often as our schedules are completely opposite. She was open to changing to the day shift in the past but recently has hardened her stance. Recently, she has been sleeping a lot on her days off. I understand night shift is brutal on one's sleep schedule, but it was getting to the point where she would only be awake 4 to 6 hours on her days off. These few hours she was awake she would lay on the couch and watch TV. It made having a relationship difficult, and it also meant her share of house duties was falling behind, leaving her dishes in the sink, her clothes all over the place, etc. 3. Sex. Our sex life has never been great. I've been open about my desire to improve things, have worked on myself to be an attractive partner, and have tried to discuss her wants and needs as well. There was never any progress. During this conversation, I asked for her thoughts and feelings on each topic. I desperately wanted an actual dialogue, but she was giving me nothing. Ultimately, she said she needed time to think about what I said. Since the conversation, I had not hardly seen her at all. She had been gone almost a week on a hiking trip with some coworkers that had been planned for a while. Then because of work there was another week of not really seeing each other. Friday night, Jay asks if I want to go to a birthday dinner for a family friend on Saturday. I had plans that required me to be up early on Sunday, so I said probably not as I knew she would want to stay and hang out late with them. She swore she would not as she had work on Sunday. I only half believed her, but agreed to go because I knew it'd make her happy. Towards the end of dinner I go to the restroom and when I come back, what always happened. Would you be okay if I actually went out? I won't be out much later, she asked in front of the entire group, so I said sure, you can do what you want. A few minutes later off to the side, I let her know I was upset that she went back on her word, but she was unfazed. She promised she wouldn't be out very late and I believed her as the group was primarily mid-30s people with young kids. One of the other people at the birthday dinner assured me they would give her a ride home. I drove home alone and the anger built. I typed out a long text about how I was hurt that she didn't come home with me like she said she would, but ultimately deleted it before sending. I didn't want to needlessly make her night worse and told myself we would talk in the morning. I go to bed. 2 a.m. I wake up to go pee. She isn't there. I check my phone and she hasn't texted me at all either. We share locations with each other, so I check and it's not loading, so I'm getting a bit worried for her safety at this point. I call her and she picks up. Hello? Hey Jay, where are you? Oh, I decided to sleep over at family friend's house. This alone wasn't concerning as the family friends were a married couple with young children. We have known them for years and it was not unusual for her to spend the night there after going out with them. At this point my concern quickly turns back to anger because not only did she lie to me again about coming home early, she didn't even text me to let me know her plans changed. I told Jay to get an Uber and come home. We need to talk. She was annoyed and let me know it, but I didn't care. She told me she would order an Uber. Nearly 30 minutes had passed and I had not heard from her. I check her location again to see if she's on her way. Unlike before, it does load this time. Not only was she not on the way back, She was at a house I didn't recognize. I call her back, hey, I thought you said you were ordering an Uber and coming home? Also, where are you? Your location is showing you at some house I've never seen. She sticks to her story. She is at family friends. She has no idea why her location is showing the other house, because she is definitely at family friends. I'm uneasy at this point but still haven't jumped to any conclusions. Maybe it was a glitch. Seemed to be pretty far away from where she was claiming to be for a glitch, and it also hadn't moved at all in a while. But whatever, anything is possible, I suppose. I am asking her why she keeps lying to me. Lied about not going out in the first place, lied about how long she'd be gone, and lied about calling an Uber 30 minutes ago. She says the Uber is coming in 4 minutes and that she will call me when it picks her up because she doesn't want to argue with me in front of family friends. I watch her location, expecting it to jump and correct itself once she starts moving. Instead, it moves exactly as if she was picked up in an Uber from that house. Whatever, she is on her way. I go downstairs and wait for her to arrive. Once she does, I ask what she did tonight. I went to the bar and then to family friends. I ask her what she was doing at family friends. Just talking. You know I stay there sometimes, what's the big deal? I ask what on earth they were talking until 2:30 in the morning. It just didn't make sense. They're a mid-30s married couple with young kids and full-time jobs. Staying awake this late just to talk? Well, we were talking about you for one, me? What about me for starters? Your psychotic behavior tonight. I was mad, sure, but my behavior had been far from psychotic. I never raised my voice and never accused her of anything. I demanded she come home, sure, but I felt I was justified in that. From here she continues to say they talked about the discussion from 2 weeks ago. How I attacked her and piled on her for no reason. I was shocked. I thought I had handled the conversation a couple weeks ago very maturely. I was actually proud of myself for taking time to gather my thoughts so that I could calmly lay them out when I got home. At this point, however, I was questioning myself. Did I dogpile her for no reason? Was the way I approached it an attack? My only thought was maybe it felt one-sided because she refused to engage in any discussion. I asked why she could talk to other people about our relationship but not me. It would never become clear, however, as she said she was done talking and was going to bed. I begged her to give me something, anything. I didn't care if her response was in the form of yelling at me. I just needed something. As she's walking up the stairs, I ask her to explain why her location was at that house. The story was the same. She didn't know, she was at family friend's house. I told her I want to believe her, but I know what I saw with my own eyes. It just didn't make sense. I would have believed anything that plausibly put her at that house. I was at family friends and that's that. If you don't believe me, though, we have much bigger problems. That was that. I did trust her and so I accepted it and went up to join her in bed. There was a little voice in the back of my mind that knew what I saw, but she wouldn't lie, she definitely wouldn't cheat. As I am about to fall asleep, I sit up suddenly and say, Jay, I have an idea. Half asleep, what? Show me your Uber receipts. That will prove you're telling the truth. Any small doubts I have will be gone and we can just move on from this. Now she seems to be completely asleep, almost certainly faking it looking back. I grab her phone from under her pillow and unlock it. On the screen is a text thread to a guy I'll call Jake. There were only 2 messages. First, from earlier in the evening, it's Jay. The kind of message you send when someone puts their number in your phone and you text them so they have your number now. Then one she forgot to send, hey, sorry about that. I made it home okay. Even at this point, my naive ass did not jump to cheating. I truly assumed it was probably someone who was also at the dinner and stayed the night at family friends. But then I saw the Uber receipt. It had picked her up from the house her location showed her at. Jay, wake up. You were at that house. What is going on? What happened? It's what it looks like. I asked how could she do this to me? Why would she do this to me? Nothing. Not a single sentence that could be considered a thoughtful response. Despite my demands to know what happened that night, she, as usual, gave me nothing. It's over. You threw away an 8-year relationship. We were supposed to be together forever. You were supposed to be the mother of my children. Only after those words, it's over, did she show any remorse. The very little information I did get out of her was. This was the first time. I caught her before anything actually happened. I'm not sure I believe either. It also doesn't really matter to me. Interestingly, about a month prior she told me she had HPV. She assured me that monogamous people can get it. Based on the research I did, it seemed possible, so I didn't think much of it. Now I wonder. The next few hours were an unproductive loop of various iterations of how could you, and I'm sorry, I'll do anything to make it up. Eventually it was 6 a.m. and I still had those plans that brought me home early the night before. A 7 a.m. tea time. So I left. It was actually a blessing, but I had already had pretty much a full day of plans with some friends. First was golf, then some time at the shooting range with another friend who was going to show me the ropes. These are close friends and I told them everything. They listened to me ramble all day and spent as much time as I needed. Once I knew Jay had left for work, I decided it was time to go back home. I had been up since 2 a.m. and I was exhausted. I don't fall asleep until midnight. Awake for about 22 hours on the worst day of my life. The aftermath. Honestly, not much happened after. I hurt. It is a deep, constant ache. It was not overwhelming pain like hearing a family member had died. No. Just a constant, deep, ache. I reached out to some more friends who have all been incredibly supportive. I am truly blessed to have the support system I do. The people I really want to talk to, but haven't had the courage to call yet, are my parents. I can't explain why, but I feel almost embarrassed. I also know that once I tell them, the relationship is 100% over with Jay, they will never see her the same, and she'll know it. I can't live with that tension my whole life. While I am 99.9% sure this relationship is over, it's hard to say 100%. She was in my life for 8 years. It means a fundamental change to my life presently, and the entire future I had planned. Work has been hard. I haven't gotten a lot done this week. I've been distracting myself by talking to my coworkers. Today though, I was the only one in the office. Seems everyone else happened to be working from home. It was not a good day. I've been in my head replaying the events of the weekend and spiraling. Until this point I was weirdly okay. I think it's the first time I've been alone since it happened, so all the feelings are coming out. Going forward, I'm not sure what the future holds. I have a few short-term plans. 1. STD test. 2. Therapy. 3. Talk to my parents and likely make a trip home. I also need to talk to Jay. While I repeatedly said it was over the night it all went down, I think it still needs to be made official. I have not seen Jay since that night. After work Sunday and Monday night, she has been home. I don't think she's left the house. However, I've been spending as much time away as possible, and the little bit I am home, she is in the guest bedroom. I have not had the strength or desire to talk to her. What I'm most scared of at my living situation and the dogs. While one dog is clearly mine and one is clearly hers, there's a part of me that worries she may do something crazy. I don't know what she's capable of anymore. We are locked into this lease until February. I have reread the lease and it seems we're pretty much stuck. She has family in town she could stay with, but I've got nowhere to go. While it wouldn't ruin me, it would certainly be financially painful if she stopped paying her half of the rent. Best case scenario seems to be we live as roommates and stay out of each other's way for 8 months. A pretty bleak best case scenario. Once we do separate, there's going to be the challenge of divvying up the stuff. We own a lot of nice furniture together. That furniture probably wouldn't fit well into the apartments we'll likely have to move back into after this. It's all just so unclear at this point. Conclusion. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Just writing this was very cathartic. I am open to hearing advice on how I should proceed. Nothing in my life has prepared me for something like this. Edit. Thanks to everyone who took the time to read and comment. Also, thank you to the people who reached out over DMs. I probably didn't respond, but I did read your message. While friends and loved ones are great, it is also helpful to get feedback and advice from people who are more removed from the situation. A lot of these responses have opened my eyes to some hard truths about the relationship I was in. After reading the comments and talking with people IRL, I am ready to move the 99.9% to 100%. It's over, and it was probably over longer ago than I'd like to admit. I also wanted to respond to the more common comments/questions I'm getting. Has she tried to contact you? No. She sent me a couple general texts throughout the week letting me know she fed the dogs before I got home so I didn't double feed them. Yesterday she informed me she would be staying somewhere else through at least today. Other than that, there has been no contact. This is not the first time she's cheated on you. Maybe, maybe not. It doesn't change anything for me. I don't really care to learn any more about how much or who with or when. That would just be more things to take up space in my mind. This doesn't deserve more space in my mind. You're incredibly naive. Yup. That is now very apparent to me. I don't want to become a hardened cynic going forward, but what I will take away is an important lesson in standing up for my boundaries and seeing the red flags when someone does not respect them. Get her out of the house. Ideally, I would love to and plan to make moves in this direction. However, due to being on the lease, I'm not sure I have much recourse if she just says I'm not leaving. It also occurred to me that the utilities are in her name, so I would need her cooperation if I were to stay here instead of her. It will be challenging, but I'm sure something will get worked out. I have a strong support system and healthy savings, so this will not put me on the street by any means. Record your conversations and put cameras up. I don't want to believe she would do anything as evil as these comments imply. However, I do understand the importance of protecting myself. Tell your parents. I absolutely will, and very soon. I am not worried about their response. I think I just wanted time to process everything. Now on to the next story. Story 2. How to confront a cheating spouse. I can't call her my W anymore. That word was sacred. It had intrinsic meaning. Found out that she is cheating on me, emotionally and physically, for a few months. She is out of town and coming back Sunday. I have made a decision that I am done. I need to talk to divorce lawyers on Monday. My question is, how do I confront her? I don't want to see her ever again. Can I just write a note and say pack your essentials and leave the house when she gets back while I go away for a few hours? Can I say that you have 4 hours to process and get your things and leave the place I thought was home, and then in the next couple of weeks we will arrange a formal separation? We have both of our names on the place, but I bought the place many years ago and she just moved in after Mar. This was a complete commitment. I added her name on the title because this was our home. Would asking her to leave the house be illegal as she has her name on it too? Update 1. I really hope this pain goes away someday because I can't live like this. I am in a dark place right now. I am hurting so much inside that my heart pains physically. This is the 11th day since I discovered that my wife of 18 months was cheating on me emotionally and physically for around 2 months. I wasn't the perfect husband, far from it. She was unhappy, I wasn't emotionally available and did not open up. She tried talking to me, I gradually started to communicate, doing more things, but it wasn't like I never showed love and affection. I did, but it was not enough all the time. She started spending a lot of time on her phone talking to this guy who was at our wedding. His wife had cheated on him and divorced him. He was there to talk to her. She had harbored some negative feelings against me from the time when we were dating. She wouldn't let it go. She did not remember all the things I did for her. Instead, she chose to remember the things I did not. There were many times I would just not be able to communicate to her because her silent treatments were just too much. I wish that I can go back and correct all those things I did wrong. Wish she told me that our marriage was at stake. I would give anything for her and our relationship. I found out and filed for divorce, and she moved out 2 days ago. I have spent the last 11 days in the worst possible way. I have paced in the backyard for 5 hours, screamed my heart out, bawled, gone without eating and sleeping for 2 days, now only eat once a day, sleep for 2 hours. I don't know how I can go along like this. This pain is way too much to bear. I thought it will get better with time, but it keeps getting worse. I know I can't kill myself because I can't give that pain to my parents and brother, but I also cannot keep going like this, have a normal life and job. I don't know what my future holds now. Update 2. Surviving after wife's infidelity and gaslighting. On December 1, 2022 I found my wife's Apple Watch and messages between her and our friend, who was her friend before. This friend was at our wedding with his wife. His wife was cheating on him with her coworker and ended up marrying him. His divorce was finalized around March 2022. My wife and him started talking more after. I asked her about it and she said he is going through a divorce and is depressed and I am just helping him. I had no reason not to trust her because our marriage was great. I loved her, she loved me, at least I believed. She even helped him set up his dating profile late in the year so that he can move past her wife. Later in 2022, late September, early October, she tells me that our marriage is broken and for it to work we will have to restart, and that she doesn't want to have kids when we had clearly talked about it. This was a total surprise. I tried very hard to make her happy, do everything I can think of that she will appreciate, while she is acting strange every day, and making me think that our marriage is bad because I don't ask her questions about her, what she is feeling. I thought to myself maybe I am not a good husband. First week of December we were supposed to go to this concert in Johnson City, Tennessee. She says she doesn't want to go because she doesn't like the band and she always does things I've wanted to do. We plan to go to her parents' cabin in Southeast O and drive separately so that I can go to TN after that. While we are packing together, she decides that she is done packing and says she is leaving, abruptly, says bye without even looking at my face and leaves. I still think okay, maybe we will spend 2 to 3 days alone at the cabin, do our favorite hike together and things will be good. I find her Apple Watch being charged and I pick it up to send funny messages to myself, but then I see a notification or message, don't remember, and I open the conversation between them and my heart sank, and it physically hurt. Update 3. I filed for divorce on December 6th after confronting her on December 5th and finding that she is justifying her cheating. I later learned about the word gaslighting. I asked her to move out, and she did. It pained me to have to see her moving, going through the trouble. I was so worried, where is she gonna go? This was her house and she left hers to be with me, but I was not going to leave my home either. After she moved out I bawled, screamed, cried and a week later decided to do marriage counseling. And I wanted to give us a chance. I don't know why. I didn't know if I was going to be able to take her back. Maybe it was a 50-50 chance, but missed her and cared about her very much. I loved this person from the core of my heart, and we had made so many wonderful memories together. Being with her made me truly happy. I laughed with her till my stomach hurt and even then some, which I hadn't after leaving college and starting corporate life and leaving my college friends in town. We spent January and February 2023 in counseling. I told her I am willing to do everything to make this marriage work but only on one condition, and that she never contacts this person again. She agrees to it. I did individual counseling too. All this time thinking if I take her back how am I gonna ever trust her, and that I don't want to live that life when she leaves the house. I wonder if she is going to meet up with him. We had a shared Mint account where all of our accounts were together and you can see all the transactions. One day I logged into Mint because there was an auto email, your credit score went down. I see transactions of a restaurant she likes which is nearby this guy's house, and then I found she made a purchase at ProWrestlingTees.com. This guy is into wrestling. I also drove to his house and see her car parked there. I decided that even though it hurts so much, my marriage was over, and there is no saving this. I had promised myself that if I found out that she is still cheating, I will never see her or speak a word to her ever. I have not since. This was end of February, I think. I went through the transactions on Mint and found several transactions which were made to support their relationship. Which reminds me, I also knew about this expensive Valentine Day flower she sent to him in February 2022, and she herself told me about it and said it will make him happy because he is alone this V-Day. I had my lawyer send the settlement letter. She has hired an attorney and I don't know what is going on, but neither are they accepting the terms of letter or making a counteroffer. The settlement was straightforward. She keeps all her accounts, investments, retirements, house, and I keep mine. She did email me in April to file joint tax returns. Because I did our taxes, I ignored it and filed it single separated. She asked me to take over one of the utilities, which I did immediately. I have made myself busy in last 3 months. I have done some projects around the house, traveled a bit domestically and went to Patagonia to do the W-Trek, do things outside, walk a lot, but there are times it becomes very lonely. I almost cry. I have dreams where my house is on fire, or someone is stealing from my house, or someone is attacking me and I can't move to stop them. I think about her every day and I like to say her name every now and then. I still love her. I pray to God that she is happy and safe. I also tell myself she is not the same person you loved anymore. I think someone made this comment on my previous post and I think it's true, and that I have lost her in a way. I don't know if I will be able to ever trust some in a relationship which I don't have any interest in anymore. I do wonder if I will be that lonely old guy. But I am doing better than I was in January. I thought it was the end. But there is so much to life and I am so lucky to be able to experience. I'm going to CO a couple of times in next few weeks and hoping to get some great hikes in. I will live my life to the fullest. I have been almost a daily visitor to this subreddit and the support I have gotten from you guys has helped me immensely. Thank you for the words. Thank you for the kindness.